Hi, folks. This is SPEW. This week we are the Saturn, Pluto, Earth, and Wenus. We are a nerdy feminist podcast for feminist nerds, and each week we're going to be talking about general nerdy shenanigans and feminism. My wonderful, esteemed, beautiful co-host Shelby is not with me this week. We've been on a couple-week hiatus. We're back now, or half of us are back now. Shelby will be back next week. I know you all miss her very much, but I do have someone to fill her shoes. This week, my special guest has traveled a really long way to be here. A really long way. All the way from the other side of our house that we share. This is my roommate, Collin. So welcome, Collin.
Thank you. It's nice to be in your room for a change.
Yes. You're usually not allowed in here or within 5 feet of me by that court order that we have put in place. So Collin's actually an expert in a lot of fields. He knows a lot of things. Some of his main expertise falls along the lines of metal music. Not metals as in like aluminum and stuff, but metal music.
I like those too.
Those are good too. You also know a whole lot about retro video games. Mm-hmm. You kind of suck at modern video games, from my estimation.
No.
Yeah, you do.
No.
And really, you do. And you also know way too much about Lil Bub.
There is no such thing as too much about that wonderful space kitty.
Yeah, you're crazy about Lil Bub. It's a little weird, little stupid, if you ask me. No, Lil Bub's awesome. We all love Lil Bub.
Magical.
So, Collin, welcome to the show.
That's good.
This is my first time doing a show without Shelby, and it's hard for me. I feel like part of my soul is missing, honestly.
Well, I feel cheated because the better half of the show is not here.
That's true. The funny one's not here.
Yeah.
This is going to be a really somber, serious show. There's probably going to be some tears. Get the trumpets out to talk about how much we miss Shelby. So Collin's going to be introducing this week's theme for us. Collin,
yes.
what are we talking about this week?
Well, most of the people listening to this would have been alive during '96 when the Great Alien War happened and we were saved by Will Smith and Jeff Goldblum.
Yes, that was a dark time for humanity.
So, in honor of the 20th anniversary of kicking major alien ass, we are going to talk about aliens.
Aliens, absolutely.
And it's the 4th of July, and that's when the whole movie happens.
Yeah, so. Happy birthday, America, and thank you to President Whitmore for saving us from the alien invaders.
Man, he is a great man.
He's a great man. Best president ever. Absolutely. So before we get too far into our topic, I'm sure everyone out there listening wants to know, who is this mystery man, Collin? He sounds very sexy. I assure you he is not. But he is a very interesting fella. He's got a lot up his sleeve. So Collin, I'm going to ask you a few questions.
Okay.
And if you listened to our podcast a few weeks ago where we interviewed Shelby's beautiful husband, Chris, you might recognize some of these questions because I am entirely too lazy to write brand new questions.
I never would have guessed.
I know. So tell us a little bit, about your nerd catalog. I mentioned some of your expertise areas, but, what are the things you're interested in? What are you obsessed with?
Music is a big thing for me. As all of my close friends know, they're usually like, hey, have you heard this? I'm like, yes, I've heard this, Main things: black metal, death metal, grindcore. Jesi thinks it's all stupid.
It is all stupid.
But it's something that is near and dear to me. Video games, new and old. American, Japanese things. I really like Japanese games that were never brought over here. It's fun to play things that we never got a chance to. It's
pretty pretentious there, man.
It is, and
awesome.
I'm okay with it.
Cool.
And that's, I like cats, obviously. Lil Bub, my own cats. Our own cats. We do have cats.
We share cats. We have custody of 3 beautiful pet kitties.
Then all things Cthulhu are wonderful.
Yeah, so you're would you consider yourself an H.P. Lovecraft fan or specifically a Cthulhu fan?
A Lovecraft fan in general. I know he's problematic with a few things, but overall I enjoy his body of work and I love how soul-crushing and depressing it all is.
Yeah, just like your face. And so what's the most obscure thing that you're into? Something that if you brought it up at a party, like the record scratch would happen and people would be like, what are you talking about? And then no one would want to sit next to you. And what is that?
I like old computers from like the 80s and 90s.
Wow.
Specifically, like Jesi made a lot of fun of me for this. I got a ZX Spectrum from the UK and I'd been wanting one for a few years and finally had the opportunity to get one. And she's just like, your phone is stronger than that. That thing is stupid. And it is not stupid. It is wonderful. And so far, I know 2 people in my life that actually know what it is.
Well, Collin, this is why you're single. This right here
it's
is
one
the
of
reason.
many reasons.
So old computers, yeah, they're in our garage. There's a few old dinosaurs in there.
Yes.
So do you? I know the answer to all these questions, but do you make computers? Do you birth them from their infancy?
Yes, I conceive them at night
Nice.
and lay an egg. No, last year for my 30th birthday, I built myself a nice big PC, and it's my baby, and I love it every day.
You should be so proud of yourself. You're a daddy now.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
So-
Congratulations. So, what fandoms have you carried with you from childhood to adulthood? What survived Collin's puberty?
Video games, obviously. The old ones that I grew up with are still near and dear. Mega Man, Castlevania, Mario. I love all of those. Transformers is a big one because I love all things.
Wow, that's like it's like there's more than meets the eye
Shut up.
with you.
Yeah. No, Transformers is a big one.
Yeah.
The animated movie is obviously one of my favorite movies from being a kid, and I love the Dinobots. Grimlock rules.
Yeah, absolutely. I don't know who that is, but yes, he does rule. Or she. I don't know who that is. Your mom, who I love your mom, and I know she's not listening to our podcast, but hi Michelle, I love you. She told me once that you had a very special name for pizza when you were growing up. What was that?
Well, we all know the Ninja Turtles are big fans of pizza.
They were. They
and
still are.
I was a big fan of the Ninja Turtles, therefore pizza was turtle food.
Turtle food.
Turtle food.
Nice. So like you'd call up Pizza Hut and order like 1 extra large turtle food with pepperoni.
It was more I'd order up to my parents, and they would translate to the pizza humans what
right.
I wanted.
Right, because they didn't let you out of the house
No,
if
no.
they could help it. I can see why. So I know that you're a bit of an X-Men fan. I wouldn't say it's like one of your favorite fandoms, but we watch X-Men together. We've read some of the comics. So if you were an X-Men character, who would you be?
Nightcrawler.
Oh, well, that was fast. Nightcrawler, which you stole from me. That's my favorite X-Men, and you stole it from me because you're a poser and a loser.
He's a lot of people's favorite.
Yeah, but mostly mine.
Acceptable.
Because he has 2 penises. It's a big deal.
I mean, the going in and out of dimensions is cool and
Double penis.
has its benefits.
It does. I mean, I don't see any downside to having 2 penises. Can you talk about maybe if there is any nerd culture icons, anybody who's, a big deal to you, who you would like to have a fine craft beer with one day?
The 2 that come to mind immediately would be Miyamoto, because I owe so much of the happy times of my life to him.
Mm-hmm.
Miyamoto's a magical human being, and Hideo Kojima.
And that is a Japanese wrestler.
No,
that is an anime character.
No, he's the creator of the Metal Gear series, and he is just a crazy little man, and I love him, and I marked the fuck out when his new game with Norman Reedus was shown at E3.
Oh, I think you showed me that. That looked pretty good.
The Death Stranding.
Yeah, that looks pretty good. I might watch you play that one or play it myself. So to take a little turn towards the serious and somber, as I promised, this will be a sobering episode. So do you identify yourself as a feminist or a feminist ally?
Feminist.
Feminist. So why do you choose to use the word feminist and maybe not non-feminist or feminist ally?
To me personally, it's splitting hairs, but to me there's a slight difference between feminist and feminist ally, where feminist is this is what I am and this is what I would stand for and what I would fight for, believe in, and so forth. Where feminist ally is just like, yes, from the background. Mm-hmm. That might not be the case for everybody how they view it, but for me that's how it is. Mm-hmm. And as you know, a lot of my close friends, you, Sherry, Monica, Allison, a lot of my close friends are girls. Mm-hmm. And, my sister, can't forget her. I would not want to be somebody in the background to support them. I want to be there for them. And to me, that means being a feminist and not a feminist ally.
That's a great answer. I like that answer. I'm down with that answer. I'm pro that answer. I want that answer on a t-shirt. Love it. Good job, Collin. So this is my hardball question. This is the one I only pull out for the people that I really want to nail to the wall. Without offending me, your best friend, what's something that's just too damn nerdy even for you?
And I like some nerdy things, so this is difficult.
You like some nerdy shit, dude.
Yeah, I do. There's no way around it. And this would be hard. And this one is, I'm a big fan of trading card games, like Magic the Gathering. I love playing those games. I cannot go to a comic shop and play them because those people, they geek out on a level that I'm not capable of. It makes me very uncomfortable even thinking about it. We've been in comic shops before when people were playing and me and you were like, we got to go.
Yeah, we just like run out screaming.
Yeah,
honestly.
It's like I enjoy the game. I like playing with my friends. I like playing online, but you get me in that situation. I'm like, I'm not having fun. You guys take it to a whole nother level and I can't compete.
We both have a bit of a problem with being nerdy in a crowd of other nerds. Like we have a bit of we get a little self-conscious or something. I don't know what it is.
You don't want to be a try-hard, but you don't want to be around try-hards either.
Yeah, something like that. All right. Well, I appreciate you answering some of my questions, Collin. I feel like we've grown a lot closer over these last 10 minutes, and I feel like I'm willing to let you live with me at least until the end of this lease. So I hope you'll stay with me.
I've been hearing that for years.
All right, so we're going to move on to our topic of the week, which is aliens. Collin and I had the distinct honor and pleasure of going to see Independence Day 2 Resurgence recently. We saw it this weekend. We saw it opening night. We were excited for this movie, right?
We were excited.
I think I saw the trailer like 8 times. I just kept watching it and getting more and more excited.
You texted me when you saw the trailer and you're like, have you watched it yet?
Yeah.
I was like, no, and don't spoil it for me because I just had to see it for my own eyes. And unfortunately, I didn't end with just seeing the trailer. We paid our hard-earned money to go see this in theaters, and it was a terrible life choice. Well,
so it was pretty terrible. I would say if you were looking at a scale and you were rating it from the fourth kind to the thing, where would you put Independence Day 2 Resurgence on that scale?
Honestly, I had watched The Fourth Kind again before I ever watched Resurgence.
Yeah, I think I would too. I think I would watch pretty much anything other than watching Resurgence. Now, no spoilers. We're not going to give any spoilers, folks. If you're like you just really hate yourself and you really want to punish, maybe you want to punish your boyfriend or your girlfriend or your mom, and you want to take them to see something that's awful, we're not going to spoil that for you. You do you. But spoiler alert.
It's really bad.
It's really bad. It's awful. I'm angry at Will Smith retroactively for setting this up, even though Independence Day 1 is amazing. Like, I'm still like mad at him about it.
Yeah, it was so bad that it made me wish the aliens had won in the first movie, so we never got the sequel.
Yeah, that was like our first thought afterwards. I was like, gosh, these people, none of them deserved to survive the alien invasion. These should have been the people that died.
Yeah, the thing that really bothered me about the movie was the insistence on calling everybody by their last name, when I felt like some of the characters were never introduced anyway, and if they were, it was such a fleeting passing moment. Mm-hmm. Then for the next hour and a half, it's like, hey, you're so-and-so, and I'm like, who the hell are you?
I couldn't remember anyone's names. I don't remember anyone's name. There was only, to my recollection, besides one female character who died, and I won't tell you who it was, but the only female characters were they had no humanity.
They were pieces of meat in the
movie.
movie.
Were just there to be romantic interests for the dudes.
One of them was introduced basically for a guy to say, I want to sleep with her.
Yeah.
That's not a dumbed down version of her character.
That's all she did.
That's it.
That's it. It was garbage. Garbage movie. We hated it. Moving on. Let's talk about good things, positive things, happy things that bring rainbows and peace and sunshine into the world. The beautiful masterpiece that is Independence Day 1.
It is fantastic. I mean, it opening up with, an REM song.
Yeah.
That can't get any more 90s than that.
Can't get any more 90s than that. We saw it. 96. I was in middle school. Mm-hmm. So you were in middle school too, right? Mm-hmm. And did you see it in theaters?
Yeah, I saw it twice in theaters.
I saw it once in theaters because I wasn't rich like your family. So yes, I was crazy about that movie.
Oh, it was so good. Like just how ominous when the aliens are approaching. There were jokes in the movie, but they never broke from the seriousness of like, oh, our existence is in jeopardy.
Right.
And you you had all this energy in the movie. You know, Jeff Goldblum was fantastic, which is kind of redundant. But, you know, just the scenes of everything happening. Are the aliens good? Are the aliens bad? Spoiler, they're bad.
Yeah, but I mean, the other thing is, like, it was feasible.
Yes.
Like, I mean, like, even if you don't believe in aliens, like, the plot of that movie made sense. You know, if aliens came and they were obviously aggressive.
The way they attacked was, it made sense.
Yeah.
It was military strikes. It wasn't just indiscriminate land and start firing lasers
Right.
at civilians. They took out major cities. They took out our satellites. They underestimated us, which is a flaw of higher intelligence in a lot of things, in a lot of stories, movies, whatever have media.
Yeah.
And so it played in. You're like, that makes sense. So and plus they blew up the White House. That was the first time that I can think of any movie blew up the White House.
That was such a beautiful, like, imagery. Like, just, I mean, because you think, if nothing else, America will be able to protect its White House.
The White House is sacred.
Yeah, when you see that thing going up, you're like, oh, these aliens are not fucking around.
And from what I've read about it, the studio and several people in Hollywood didn't want them to blow up the White House. They were like,
yeah.
no, you can't do this. He's like, no, I'm doing it because it's going to have that impact.
Oh, yeah.
And the same, what was it, the Empire State Building that he blew up in New York?
I think
blew
so.
up in New York.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
it was
just destroying that American iconography or whatever. And the female characters had a purpose.
Oh yeah, every female character that was in the movie wasn't just there to be like, hey, save the world and come home to me. A lot of them,
they were in the shit too. Like, they were dirty, they were surviving, they were helping
motivated
people.
the other characters to do what needed to get done.
Right.
And, you know, like Jeff Goldblum's character, his ex-wife, or separated wife, I don't think they were ever really divorced. She was the one, with the help of his father, who was the best part of Resurgence, by the way, was able to get Goldblum together. And, you know, Will Smith's fiance, she is the one that, you know, helped him realize, hey, you need to do this.
Vivica A. Fox. What a beauty.
Well, you know I'm terrible with names.
90s royalty, that lady. Beautiful. She still looks beautiful. So what makes an alien film good, in your opinion?
Well, there's different types of alien movies. My personal favorite are the ones that instill fear. I mean, The Thing is my all-time favorite movie. But, you know, the original Alien, Fire in the Sky, which is absolutely terrifying.
I think the Thing and Fire in the Sky are super scary movies, and they make they cross the genre of sci-fi and horror,
Yes.
which not every film really does so well. Like Alien does really well because it's scary.
Fire in the Sky to me is unique in the sense because you're watching it and you're like, is this some sort of thriller? And you're waiting for the payoff and it's just not happening, and you're on the verge of giving up on the movie. And then when you get
then
that
it just wrecks you.
yeah, and you're like, I wish I didn't watch that.
Yeah, like I wish I could go back in time and unsee all of that. And then you want to watch it again.
Yeah, I think that's such a great part of the movie because a good alien movie doesn't show you the aliens for a long time. That's part of the terror, is they can get to you whenever they want and they're choosing not to.
Yeah.
And then when they finally make that moment, you're like, I'm doomed.
Right.
What was the movie we watched? Dark Skies?
Dark Skies. That was definitely in that same vein of aliens are here and they're here to fuck with you.
Oh, and the twist at the end, how the movie ended, we were both just like, I can't. Oh my God. Oh, that just happened. Oh,
Yeah.
oh,
We're like, oh, they just went there. Okay, cool. This is where we're going. Yeah. And then like the other side of the spectrum with alien films is like the ETs, the Super 8s, the Close Encounters of the Third Kind.
All great movies.
I love all those movies. So like alien films don't actually have to be scary to be good. District 9. That's an interesting one with just the social commentary in that one. I enjoyed that one a lot. Slither is one that's also a zombie movie, which I think that's great cross-pollination. You don't see very often aliens that turn people into zombies.
You got to mention Contact. 'Cause
Contact.
Carl Sagan is fantastic.
I just watched that a few weeks ago. I never get tired of that movie. Part of me wishes they would remake it just because like the CGI at the end it looks like it was made in MS Paint.
But the performances in the movie are so good.
So good.
So good.
Jodie Foster at her finest.
Yeah, and she carries that movie.
Yeah.
Like
Matthew McConaughey. Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I get why people have a crush on him when I watch movies like that. I'm like, oh, I get it. I see where you're going. Absolutely.
Mars Attacks, that's a different spin on it. It's an ode to like 50s and 60s sci-fi in its heyday and its infancy, but also with the hysteria that things would cause.
And I can't think of any other alien movies that that are sci-fi movies, alien movies, and cross the barrier to comedy movie and do it as well as Mars Attacks does.
Yeah, because at any moment, a movie like that can fall on its face and not recover.
Right.
Mars Attacks is great from beginning to end.
And it's still great. Like, it holds up.
Yeah.
Even though, like, one thing that's interesting about Mars Attacks is it has a lot of, like, pop culture references. Yeah. And they did a good job of picking the ones that would be resilient for many years to come. It's been a while since I've seen it, but I still feel like even, like, the cameos of the celebrities and stuff they had are still relevant today.
Well, we also need to talk about, I made you watch this years ago, the sci-fi miniseries Taken.
With Liam Neeson, where they steal his daughter? Classic.
No, yeah.
Classic. The aliens took his daughter?
Yes.
Awesome.
I see what you did there. And he has a very specific set of skills to help you with that joke.
No, this was with little girl, Dakota Fanning. Yeah. That was so good.
Spielberg directed it,
Spielberg directed. It was a miniseries. If you've never seen Taken, good luck finding it because it's tough to find, but it's super good.
Yeah, I think it's 10 episodes. Each one's like
they're like an hour and a half. Yeah. It's like each episode is a movie, and it's super
It's
good.
following a group, like several families.
Multi-generational storytelling about aliens and their impact on several families.
Starts with the crash at Roswell and goes on from there.
Yeah.
And the end is not as
yeah.
The end suffers from the beginning and the middle being so strong.
Yeah.
And there are some terrifying moments in that because it's such a sweet, heartfelt story, but the way they handle like alien abductions, nope.
Yeah, nope, right out of that.
Yeah.
A little known fact about Collin for all the listeners out there is one of his biggest fears is alien abduction.
Yeah, I'm not about that game.
And it's funny because you like alien movies so much, but that's one of your biggest fears.
I love all things aliens.
Yeah.
You know, I obsess over it. I'm very interested in it, but one of our favorite movies is VHS 2, and one of the vignettes in that movie is an alien abduction one. And when we were watching it the first time and that came on, Jesse's like, I don't know if you should watch this because VHS, the first two are terrifying. And as soon as we figured out what was going on, we're like, I don't know if I can do this.
Yeah. You're like about noped the fuck out of the room so fast.
It's like lights on, let's go, lock all the doors.
One of my favorite alien stories is the alien that we saw on the way to visiting your parents that one night that turned out to just be some dust.
Oh, when you were driving the car?
Yeah, and I legit thought for a little while we were being abducted by aliens because the headlights at night hit a dust cloud weird, and I was like, this is it. This is how I go out.
Alien abductions and from the car, it always gets sort of dusty. And you're like, what's that in the distance?
And then there's like a bright light. And it was just, I'd come to terms with the fact that this is it. This is how we go out. We're getting abducted by aliens. And you know what? I wouldn't want to get abducted with anybody else but you, Collin.
I would throw you in front of them so fast.
Thanks.
I wouldn't even think.
Thanks a lot. So do you actually believe in aliens, or is it just like a fun thing to be kind of afraid of?
While I'm terrified of it, I have trouble believing that there are not aliens.
Yeah.
Now, do I think that they
are they among us?
I don't go that far. No. But I mean, space in general is one of my, favorite things. Astronomy and other nerdisms, and I just have trouble believing that the universe is so vast that there's not another planet full of idiots like us somewhere.
Well, like they say in Contact, it seems like an awful waste of space.
Exactly.
I agree with Jodie Foster's dad in that. That's a very good point, Jodie Foster's dad. Now, you watch a lot of, I hesitate to use the word documentaries.
Oh, that's a loose term when it comes to these.
Loosely term. For lack of a better term, you watch a lot of documentaries about UFOs.
Well, I'm a sucker for a good conspiracy theory. I don't believe them, but I look for outrageous headlines and I'm like, okay, guy in your mom's basement, tell me your story right now.
You seem credible. Yeah. So you weren't smart enough to get put on Ancient Aliens, but sure, I'll hear what you have to say.
But somebody got you, a pirated version of Windows Movie Maker and you want to tell me your PowerPoint story and I'm going to watch it. And I've wasted so many hours watching those things, and oddly enough, a bunch of my friends started watching them at the same time, so we share what our favorite ones are, the current ones. My favorite current one is the moon is artificial and it was built by an alien named Jesus.
Prove that it's not.
I can't. That's the thing.
Prove it with the Bible. You can't. There's no proof. So, you know what? Theory proved.
All right.
Theory proved. Have you ever seen a UFO, Collin?
I can't say that I have, but if I'm in the passenger seat and we're driving at night, I'm usually looking up.
Keeping an eye out.
And I love the X-Files. I love all things like that. And what was it I said the other day? I really want to see a UFO, but I really don't want to see a UFO. Because it's awesome and terrifying at the same moment.
Yeah.
So
when I was little, I thought I saw one, but I also read a lot of like children's fiction that centered around aliens. So I might have made the whole thing up.
You also thought you saw a pirate ship.
I did see a pirate ship one time on Lake of the Pines in East Texas. That was real. But I thought I saw, and again, I may have made this up, but I still think I saw a light in the sky when I was walking at night, as I did because I was a loser, didn't have any friends. And I was walking and I saw this light, and it sort of like just jetted away really quickly into the horizon. I was like, oh, that was like a really fast airplane. And then I swear to white Jesus, 3 black helicopters came and followed that light. That was aliens. I may have made that up, but I remember thinking that I saw that. Again, it's entirely possible that I hallucinated that whole thing just because I was bored, didn't have any friends.
It happens.
But I think it happened.
But if you made a documentary and put it on YouTube, I would definitely watch it.
I'm going to make a PowerPoint about it, and I'll like do a dramatic reenactment where I dress up as a helicopter and I chase you around the house.
Side note about those documentaries, my favorite thing that they do is a lot of people feel that their life's in danger by doing these, so they'll use like fake voices or modulate their voice. I'm like, come on, dude, nobody knows who you are even if you use your real voice.
So if you ever watch a documentary and you hear someone go, I saw 3 black helicopters chase after this light, it was totally real, dude. I mean, it was me. It was totally me. So.
It was Homestar Runner doing an alien documentary, apparently.
That's the only voice I know how to do is Homestar Runner. All right, well, Collin, or whatever alien has infiltrated Collin's body and made him...
I could be the thing.
You could be the thing.
You could be the thing. We should do the blood test.
Oh, we should do the blood test. That's what I want for my birthday present, is a blood test, to prove that I'm not the thing.
Tie you up to a chair and do the blood test?
Yeah.
Let me get Kurt Russell on the phone.
Well, thank you for doing the podcast with me, Collin. This was a lot of fun. You are no replacement for Shelby. She is so much better than you. I believe Shelby will be back with me next week. I don't know what we're going to be talking about. It could be, I don't know, Loch Ness Monster, which is true. I believe in the Loch Ness Monster. Deal with it. Colin believes in the Loch Ness Monster too. Mm-hmm. Get over it, everybody. It's real. The truth is out there. Thanks for listening, folks. Check out our old podcast episodes over on YouTube. Check us out on Facebook, Instagram. We might even have a Tumblr by now. I don't know. I know we have a Twitter. And I will talk to you all next week. Have a good one.
Bye.